I'm Timothy Head with the Faith and Freedom Coalition. We're thrilled to be joined today by two good friends from Israel, members of the Irsraeli Knesset. And so I want to ask a few questions, first of all, to Yehuda Glick, a good friend and a famed member of the Irsraeli Knesset. Could you tell us a little bit, explain how the Israeli government works?
Okay, I'll explain how it works, but you have to know, before we speak about the government, the state of Israel, because people think it's something you can take it for granted. No parallel in history. A nation returned home to its homeland after 2,000 years. In any place in the world, any nation that was uprooted from its homeland was erased from the face of the earth. Here we have a nation that returned to its homeland, renewed the language, a 4,000-year-old language, renewed the culture. The geographical venues received the same names. And this happened only 68 years ago, thanks to a group of people, the Zionist movement, who in the end of the 19th century saw that the Jewish people were spread around the world, and again, all their efforts to achieve basic human freedom rights were not the only way to do it is if we have our own state. In 1948, David Ben-Gurion, our first prime minister, established the State of Israel. And when he established the State of Israel, before the establishment of the State of Israel, there were a few major basic organizations. There was the Jewish Agency, who was in charge of actually allowing the path for Jews to return back to Israel. There was the Palmach, which was a whole bunch of units which turned into the Israeli army. Here we were building a country. We built the country 68 years ago. And so then they established the Knesset. The Knesset, which comes from an ancient, once again, 3,000 years ago in the time of the temple, there was Anshe Knesset Agdola, the big Knesset. Knesset comes from the word Hebrew, to gather around. And we have 120 members of Knesset, as was 3,000 years ago, 120 members of the Knesset. And they are, the system in Israel, since the people of Israel are very much involved in what happens, it's a democratic country, but it's not a two-party, and it's not a president. We have a president, but the president is more a symbol. We have a coalition and opposition. The government, we have 120 seats in the Israeli parliament. Though any party that manages to get minimum of 61, but trying to get the biggest coalition possible, the leader of that party becomes the prime minister, and he puts together a coalition. And Israel's Knesset, we have many different parties. Likud, which my friend Sharren and myself belong to, is the biggest party, and therefore the party of the prime minister, Netanyahu.
I just want to add something small to it, because the election here in the United States are completely different to the elections in Israel. In Israel, we have a parliamentarian system where basically the party members choose members of the party to go on a list of that particular party, and they are nominated. The more people, members of party, vote for them, the higher they are ranked in the list of the party. It means that the Likud party and the Labour Party and other parties all nominate and choose their candidates by a list. Then when we go into the general elections, for example, in the party of the Likud, me and Yehuda were chosen by party members. I was number 31 on the list, and Yehuda was number 33 on the list. Then we went on to the general election, and the more people vote for a party, the more seats it gets. It means that in the last elections, the Likud received 30 seats, so the first 30 in our list enter the parliament. Then there were 24 from the Labour Party, so the first 24 on their list entered, and so it goes on to the other party, and then we build a coalition together, as Yehuda explained before.
Fascinating, and it's incredibly helpful for people around the world, but Americans, obviously fresh off the results of our national presidential elections, Senate elections, House of Representative elections, as we stand essentially on the front yard of the United States Capitol, to understand that democracy can be expressed slightly differently. But the point is that the people of Israel, the citizens of Israel, just like the citizens of America, have direct input into their leadership, which is part of the reason why we believe that the U.S.-Israeli relationship is so paramount in all of the globally, but throughout the Middle East, because what you described is different than the United States, but the direct input from its citizens is actually what ties the Israelis and the United States of America together.
Absolutely. It means that the people of Israel are the one to choose the government in their agenda, and the American people choose the government of America, like the senators and the House representatives. It is the same system, but more so, it's also symbolizes the same values, not just democratic values. Those values represent bigger values that, for example, your father have stated in the declaration, like freedom of individuals, religious freedom, equality, things like that are extremely important. Those values are shared values between the people of America and the people of Israel.